The silence didn't arrive all at once. It settled slowly, as if it had been waiting for permission. Nothing in the room suggested that something important had ended. No one reacted. No one adjusted their posture to make space for my words. The moment simply continued, unaware of what I had decided not to say. I remember noticing how calm it felt, how easy it was to let the thought remain unfinished. There was no urgency in holding it back, no sense of loss yet, just the quiet understanding that speaking wasn't required for the moment to move on, and so it did. I stayed still, not because I was unsure, but because there was nothing urging me forward. The sounds around me kept their balance. Nothing tipped. Nothing waited. Words moved easily between others, finding their places without resistance. They passed over me, as if I were part of the background. I noticed how quickly the space adapted, how naturally my silence blended in. There was no discomfort in the air, no sign that something had been withheld, just the quiet efficiency of people, continuing exactly as they intended. I told myself this was normal, that moments don't always need participation, that being present doesn't require being heard. And for a while, that explanation was enough. I let the conversation carry on, feeling the weight of what remained unsaid rest gently beside me. Not heavy, not urgent, just there. And I didn't move it. I remained in place, aware of how little effort it took to stay unseen. The conversation required nothing from me. It asked no questions. It made no space. I watched expressions change, heard voices rise and fall, all without interruption. It was easy to convince myself that my silence belonged there, that it fit the moment better than any sentence I could offer. I told myself that restraint was maturity, that choosing not to speak was a kind of understanding. And for a while, that explanation held. I felt aligned with the rhythm around me, moving with it without resistance. But beneath that calm acceptance, something remained unsettled. Not loud enough to surface, not sharp enough to demand attention. Just a quiet awareness that my absence had been absorbed a little too easily, and I stayed with that feeling, letting it exist, without asking it to change. The conversation carried on, unaware of the shift that had already happened inside me. Laughter came and went, light and brief, without settling anywhere. I matched my expressions to the room, responding just enough to remain part of the scene. It felt automatic, like following a pattern I already knew. I noticed how easily I could participate, without contributing anything real, how simple it was to stay aligned on the surface. The thought crossed my mind that speaking now would feel misplaced. Not wrong, just unnecessary, as if the moment had already closed itself, and any words added afterward would arrive too late. So I stayed with the rhythm as it was, letting it move past me without resistance. And the longer I remained silent, the more natural that choice seemed. Not deliberate, not dramatic, just the quiet continuation of something that had already decided to go on without me. Later, when everything was quieter, the moment returned. Not loudly, not with regret or urgency. It came back the way small thoughts do, without asking permission. I replayed it, without changing a single detail. The same room, the same voices, the same pause. I wondered where my words would have fit, if they ever had a place at all. I still don't know what would have happened if I had spoken. Maybe nothing, maybe everything. All I know is this: the moment didn't disappear. It didn't fade the way I expected it to, the way unimportant things usually do. It stayed quietly, without asking to be resolved. There was no clear ending to return to, no final line I could rewrite in my head, just a pause that never fully closed. Some moments don't end with words. They end with silence, and silence has a way of stretching itself over time, slipping into places we don't notice at first. It shows up later, in unrelated thoughts, in pauses between other conversations, in the space before sleep, in the seconds before responding to someone else. Not demanding to be answered, not asking to be fixed, just reminding us that something once remained unsaid. And sometimes that quiet presence stays longer than anything we could have said aloud.